Hi everyone, today I'm going to make a simple cheese, a farmer's cheese with some spices and herbs in it so that it can give us some good flavoring. And what we do is we start with a pot of milk, which is 2 liters of homogenized milk. I use the homogenized because it actually gives us more of the cheese, whereas if you use a lesser like a 2% or a 1%, you're going to get less curds out of there. So that's why I've used a homogenized milk. We're then, once we get it almost to a boil, but not a full boil, we're going to add a half a cup of white vinegar. This will actually separate the milk into whey and curds. Whey is the liquid and curds is actually the cheese that we're going to use to make our farmer's cheese. And inside of it, after we've got our cheese, I'm going to add some spices and herbs, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of Lawry's garlic salt. Now, if you don't have Lawry's garlic salt, you can use 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of the garlic powder. As well, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of dried parsley and 2 teaspoons of the chives, dried chives. And we will add this once we are actually draining our liquid from our cheese into it later, and I'll show you how that's going to be done. Okay, I'm going to be putting it on the stove and we'll be right back. So I do have the milk now warming up on the stove, and I'm going to continue stirring it because we don't want the milk to burn. And once it starts getting that bubble of it starting to get almost to a boil, we'll put in the vinegar, okay? But in the meantime, I also wanted to show you what else you're going to need. You're going to need a scooper to scoop out the curds out of the whey for later, as well as some cheesecloth, which I've double layered, and a colander. So what we'll do is we're going to scoop out the curds from the milk into the colander that's got the cheesecloth, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the actual cheesecloth to squeeze everything out so that we don't get any more of the whey in there. I will come back once we're ready to add the vinegar. Now we can see that it's almost starting to bubble, and what we do is we're going to turn off the flame or the heat, and then you're going to pour in all the vinegar at once and just stir it for a minute or so, and you should start being able to see it start curdling right away, and you'll be able to see that it's got the curds and the whey. So that's how it should look. Your whey is going to be dark yellow and your curds are going to be white. So we're going to cover this up and we're going to leave it covered for about 10 minutes, and we will come back to that after to show you the next process. Okay, so 10 minutes have lapsed, and now we can actually start taking our curds out of the pot and into the colander that is wrapped with some cheesecloth. And to do that, it's very simple. You're just going to come in and scoop up the curds and try to get as least amount of liquid as possible, and you're going to put it inside the colander, and you're just going to keep doing that until all of the curds have come out. There's quite a bit in here, so we're going to do this a few times over. Good thing about having it in the colander, it will dissipate the liquid through the colander, and then the cheesecloth itself, once we strain and tighten the cheesecloth, it will get rid of the rest of the liquid that we need to get rid of. Let's make sure we get as much of the curds as possible, because that is actually cheese. There we go. All right, I think I've got most of it, and what we're going to do is leave the liquid in there pretty quickly so that it doesn't like if you pour it out, you're gonna need to clean it as soon as possible because it'll stick like crazy. So just leave the liquid in there for now. And you can see that there's our cheese inside there. Now, what I'm going to do a little bit is use my wooden spoon and actually move it around so that we've got the liquid going down as much as possible. So now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take the spices and just put them in there. So that way I can now move them around and ensure, you can see, that the spices are getting incorporated into the cheese. Do a good job of moving it around so that way the spices go all over from the bottom to the top. And don't worry about mixing too hard because it's not going to be a problem. You're going to mold the cheese anyways. So move it around. All right, when you've gotten it all done, which here you can see it's all incorporated really well, you're going to take the cheesecloth, take 3 corners, and then use the one corner to actually wrap around the ball so that we can squeeze the cheese with the extra water. And you'll start seeing through the cheesecloth that some of the liquid of the actual cheese is going to come out through the cheesecloth. So now what we're going to do, there's the little ball. We're going to put this inside the fridge for about an hour so that the cheese will actually mold into its little ball that we're going to have. And you can see that the little ball is like that. And you're going to lay it flat and it becomes a little molded cheese ball. All right, I'll come back in about an hour. Back again with the cheese now has been in the fridge for just over an hour, and you can see that the little ball has formed a little harder. So what we'll do is we'll take it out completely from the little sack, and we will take this and roll it into a bowl. It's very smooth, it's very soft and very smooth. So you will be able to see how it forms. And I actually throw this out. I'm not going to bother cleaning it. But you can see the cheese is formed into a little molded cheese. And you can use this for many different things, but I've got it here where I've got some bread, and you can just grab some and spread it on the bread. You can crumble it and put it inside some salads, or even inside on some meat when you're rolling it up. It would be good there. You can put it on crackers. It's again spreadable. Put it on crackers. You can easily add some of the hot pepper jelly on top of it as well. Makes it taste really yummy. But that's how easy it is to make homemade cheese. Enjoy, everybody, and let me know what you think. Have a great day.